Justconnect TV is your entertainment and educational channel. We broadcast authentic content that will inspire, empower, and stir up the potential and positive energy in you. Justconnect TV, streaming live. And never knew where to go? Justconnect School of Music is the place to be. We offer professional training in music sight reading, piano, drums, guitar, saxophone, bass guitar, and vocal training. We are located at Eprin Square, 3rd floor, room 26, opposite Buruburu Police Station. Justconnect, building worship.
Hello viewers, this is Justconnect TV, where we stream live. Karibu sana in this program of business and investment, which will be aired every Wednesday. Join us for an informative program. And with me is Steve Muigai. He is an investor and he runs MaxiPlus Prime Properties Limited, and he'll tell us more about himself as we discuss about business, ventures and investment. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you for hosting me, Bwana Jama.
Karibu sana.
It is awesome. Always good to engage and talk about business. Talk about empowering people into business, because you meet with people out there and they tell you, in future or when I grow up, I want to join business.
Exactly.
And today we are going to talk about how to get into business, how to start small.
Exactly.
Because that is also another challenge where people fear starting small.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk about that. I'm glad to be here, and I'm happy that you are there viewing and getting enriched also in the area of business. Thank you.
Great. And for your info, he'll be hosting, my co-host. So you want to know where we came from, for your own sake, so that you can also get the courage to do this. Probably we can start. You've introduced something very important about how to bridge from employment to business. And probably before we get to that bridge, when the river has started flowing from employment, what is the value of employment in a person's life?
That is very important question. We can never negate the area and the aspect of employment, because it is from the employment that one is able to get some capital to jump or to cross over to the area of self-employment into business. And so I always encourage people, whenever you have an opportunity of a job, you are employed somewhere, please give the best. Please give the best. In the other circles, I'm also a pastor, and so I read Bible and encourage people, and I tell people, can I quote the Bible in the book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, that whatever you do it as though you are doing it unto the Lord. And when you do that, you give the best, God is the one who rewards you. And so in whichever area that you are working or employed, always give the best. And then in the process, you can, if you have the mind of crossing over into business, because there is also a way you can juggle between employment and business. And then eventually there is always a way probably you can cross over. And so I always people give the best value for that job. Because it's through the same you're able to do the savings. So it is good to give the value of whenever you are in employment, but there is also something that I call strategic exit. Whenever you want to eventually at the end of the day that you have a mind of crossing over into business, you don't just cross over. There is what you call strategic exit. Maybe probably you have done some savings somewhere that you can use as a capital into business. That's what I say. Maybe you can share with us how you are able maybe to cross over from employment, and now you came into self-employment into business. You can share with the viewers.
And I want to echo your words which you said about giving the best when you're employed, because that is one of the capital that will find benefit in, especially when you have to have your own employees. You'll expect them to deliver that which is of value to you, so that your business can grow. And for me, it's not necessarily about the capital. I consider capital also as relationships, the relationships that you create. Because for me, I was in a marketing company where we were selling medical products. So we still sustained that relationship even after my exit. And for me, it was, I didn't, like, as a salesperson, you may divert some orders to your company. No. But it was something that we started way before to try to acclimatize with the business environment. And as we studied the environment, from the principles we learned by what we were doing in business, then you could exercise them in a very small way, so that as you are now coming full blast into business, you are not like so green, you don't know the dynamics of what happens. And probably something that helped me was any task that I was given in my place of work, those that look at knowing this is not part of my job description, I took them as an opportunity to learn, especially things like documentation, how to do paperwork, write letters and things of that. So,
that is a very important point, because besides the savings that maybe you may use as your starting capital, there is the aspect of relationship that you have created with people. I remember when I was getting into real estate business, some of the very first clients that I had that were very key in my business are former colleagues that I used to work with, former colleagues that we used to work together, and they because they knew me, they came. If in the church where I fellowship, people, because they know me, that social capital is very, very important, and it should never be neglected. The way you maintain your relationship outside, it is very, very important. Maybe you can share with us briefly your journey into business, and did you start from where you are? I know you have been in business for a long time and you are doing very well. Maybe you can share with us briefly how the journey has been in the business.
Since I started the business, of course, we didn't start from where we are. We've grown in terms of creating relationships with the partners that we work with. Could they be suppliers or customers? And as you've said, we started with the people we knew. We did not, first of all, start with strangers, so that those ones would give us an opportunity to be of service first, as we continue expanding what we were doing. So the little amount we had, we started buying and selling things. Kujua mashimo, basically. Depending on what you are doing. Because even if you are dealing with real estate, you need to know where land is affordable, so that whatever you have, if you use it, then it will be you'll get some capital. So we developed relationships. We ensured that we were effective in meeting the terms of a particular order, so that this customer will give us referrals. And we have grown a lot, especially due to referrals that we get from the clients that we serve. And that is one element that introduces us to a vast number of clients, so that the business grows. So basically there is a particular thing that people look at, and probably you've not said that you can't start a business because you don't have money. What is your opinion on that? Because for me, I think money comes like the third element in a huku. But in your perspective, what is, should you put, is it, when you are considering money, is it like putting the cart before the horse, in your own opinion?
In my own opinion, I say the most important thing is that idea. Because there are people who have money, but they are not in business. So when you are saying that you are not in business because you don't have money, there are people who have money. But what is the most valuable thing in the area of getting to business is that idea. The other thing is also the passion, because many people start business, but it is only passion that is able to maintain you into the business. Love for what you are doing. Not when you get into business because of money, there are seasons that come when you don't have money.
Exactly.
And so you find yourself closing that door very soon or giving up very, very fast. And so I say when you have the idea, research about, find nuggets, get to know some of the challenges that you are likely to encounter. You don't necessarily need to encounter the same challenges that I have encountered. If you have an opportunity to come and ask me, probably, let's say for instance, someone want to get into real estate business. You don't have to go there green. You can come and ask, maybe what are some of the challenges that I'm likely to encounter when I'm getting into business. And so I say money, as you have said, it is not the first requirement. What is most important is that idea, and then after that, get to come up with strategies of how now to implement. People actually come to support idea.
Exactly.
If I may share briefly about how I started into business, you'll be surprised that I started with a very small piece of land that I had bought when I was in employment. Just a small piece of land, and I'm able to come and tell people, come and buy. Yeah, and they come and give me the money. In the process, I'm able to get some more cash to go and buy a bigger piece of land, that way. And that is how business grows in real estate, whereby you don't have the greed. Because sometimes one of the biggest challenges that people encounter in real estate, because money comes in chunks, and so hundreds of thousands or millions, and so you are quickly changing your lifestyle and all that. But investing back into the business is another discipline that is very important in every business, not only in real estate, whereby you are able to plow back the money that you are able to make and invest. Don't be quick to say, now I can no longer drive this small car. I can now, changing that very fast. That business that is giving you that money, you need to give it the biggest share, and that is plowing back the money. So I was responding to your question about money, whether the availability of money, because I agree with you. Most people say wakati nitakuwa na pesa, but the question is, have you researched about that idea that you're talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you remind me about the anytime Jesus used to do a miracle, he could ask the person, what do you have? Or even God, when he was calling on Moses to commission him to what he was supposed to do, he asked, what do you have? Because most of the times we bank on that which we do not have, or imagine we can get, and it becomes a stumbling block. And I like an element you have mentioned about strategy, because if you don't have a strategy for a business, then you will not manage. Even those people who are employed, whatever kind of employment they are surviving in has been powered by a particular strategy. And probably expounding a little on that strategic issue. How do we grow from small to big? What are some of the strategies? Probably I'll share one after you have introduced how to grow your business from a very small way, like you've already described about how you started with one piece of land.
You can start from your small piece of land.
But I don't think mine is the realest. Let me stick to my lane.
Please stick to your lane. We have enough challenges on our side.
Exactly.
But I agree with you. What people need to have is, when you're talking about the strategy, get to find out some of the challenges that one is likely to encounter. Number two is also making use of the available, whatever you have. Even those people, I tell people, even the people that you are working with, those people in your church, those people that are your neighbors, those are God given. It is not by accident that you know the people that you know. Those people in your contact, if you open your contact phone book, you realize that you have 100 or maybe 200 or 300 people, 2,000 people. And how are you making use of that? Because it is not by accident. Out of the 100, you may have 1 or 2 people that can be your big support. Yeah, of course, don't expect everyone to support you. which is a topic for another day, because not everyone will celebrate you. Even some of the people who are very close to you. Do not be discouraged when you don't see them buying from you. Yet they know they would rather, some of the people they would rather buy from your neighbor who is selling at a higher price than supporting. So that one should never discourage you. It has been there that way from ever since. So those are some of the things that I think one should look at. The other thing is getting to identify some of the place where you may want to do the business, because even business location is very important. If, for instance, we look at our nation of Kenya, we have 47 counties. So the question is, where do you think you are best suited to start running that business? Though in your vision, you should not just be, don't be restrained, or never limit yourself in that, because business can grow. But you should be ready and willing to start small. You should be willing and ready to start small. When I share my story, sometimes it sounds unreal that because of my love for business, I exited from employment, paying some 6 digits. I know maybe my employer may get to, my former employer may get to see it, and I highly appreciate. But I had to exit from that because of the passion, and I left that one to come and start from zero. With the little that I had. And so it is only passion that can leave you such. Exactly. You leave a very well-paying business and you come to start small. But even before that, I remember actually before I got into employment, at some point I have run some other businesses. I love business. Where I can solve someone's problem. And inapata kwamba you don't have some tea, I realize, this guy is take lunch. Of course, everyone takes lunch during lunchtime. And so you ask yourself, how can I be supplying food? I remember sometime back in 2012, I used to sell tea to people and mandazi. Yeah. But I'm still the same person who is selling lard. Today. The truth, the one thing remains constant. I'm solving people's problems. Exactly. It's not more about making money, but solving someone's problem. You identify a challenge, you identify a gap, and ask yourself, how can I fill that gap? That is how businesses are done.
And I want, sorry to interrupt you. There is something that is critical that you have really put up about solving a problem, because most of why I think businesses fail is because, like you've mentioned how you started your property business. Na mimi nakumbuka kale ka plot niko nako. Not that I've researched or I've been keen to know, but I just want to, because you are doing it, let me do it. So you find that in a particular sector, there are like hundreds and hundreds of people, but only the resilient and those who are passionate and those who feel like they are called to do that survive. Yeah. So, because probably they think that entering into a particular business, so you are just trying without researching. Yeah. And actually, so my thinking was, people should come into business to solve issues, not just, for example, if you are employed in a particular company and you are probably doing the same business and probably see some neglect in some place, then you can start that business to solve probably the delays that probably customer can place order leo atapewa vitu in 3 weeks. So you step in to solve that. And I think we need to think harder, especially those who are interested in doing business. And as we come back, our viewers, as we take this break, we look at another concept. Is everyone made for business? Ama kuna watu tu who should just remain in employment and the rest of us? Yeah. So, as we take this break, enjoy, and I believe that you are finding value in this.
Yeah, thank you.
Ndetse no mu ijuru nari dizina yaratsinze kuko Yesu n'umwami yarazutse mu bapfuye n'umwami indimi zose zigeza tura ko Yesu ari umwami mwami w'abami
Yeah, that question about the question of whether everyone is wired for business. I would say this, and that is what I always say: don't get into business because you saw Steve doing well in business. Do not get into business because you have seen Jama doing well in his business. Get into business because you have a passion for that business. You have identified a need that you think you are wired to solve that need, But I would say, not everyone, unless you have a passion, because things happen. I can tell you, things happen. Like we have just come from, or have we come out of COVID season, or we are still in it?
We are in the middle.
We are in the middle, or we are exiting the season. But I can tell you, of course, many businesses closed, but we still have businesses that were running, and they are still surviving. One of the things that you realize is the resilience. If you don't have the muscles, there is that thick skin that one develops when you're running a business, and so it is only passion that will keep you to it. Because if it's about money, during that period, most businesses were running at a loss, and so I would say, do not just get into business because you saw your friend doing well in that business. You do not know his story or her story. Don't get into real estate because you have seen Steve doing well in business. Of course, I'm not doing very well.
But you're not doing bad.
But I'm not doing bad. So I say, get into business because you feel you'd be of use to help someone solve a need. That is how I weigh and perceive of who should get into business. Yeah, because everyone has money. There are so many people who have more money than we even have. But if they are not wired for business, stay in that office and come up with policies. It's okay. Don't just get into business. I think that's my view on who should get into business.
And I like also the idea about, you've talked about researching about a business. Because while in school, we used to learn several things. And like our courses, probably we are doing something medical related or accounting or whatever. And within that course, there are some elements that have been put: economics, entrepreneurship, and sometimes people don't see any value or relationship between that particular thing they are doing, for those who have been privileged to go to school, and how it will help you in future. And probably immediately they are done with school, they throw away every note they knew, and they have no idea what happened. So I want to bring about this. What is the value of education? So that even if you haven't gone through the beyond the college level, I mean the secondary school level or primary school, how can you educate yourself? Because I believe there are platforms that are there to, like even the government has those facilitations, especially in those groups. What is the value of knowledge? And sound knowledge for that matter in business?
Yeah, I love that question because it reminds me of a question that or a statement that I said. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Try ignorance, and I would encourage the viewers that it is important. Keep learning in the business. Keep learning. Keep researching. Nowadays, you don't even necessarily need to go back to school. You can research online on how to do bookkeeping, keep record. If you're doing agribusiness, it is important to keep record. Get to know, how do I keep record of inputs and outputs? How do I keep record on debit and credit? So that you know whether your business is running at a profit or a loss.
Exactly.
Because many people are in business, but you ask them, how did your business perform last year? They cannot tell. And I want to ask you, maybe my viewer, if you are in business, how did you perform last year? You should be able to tell that I was able to make a profit of this much. Or in my business, I was able to break even. Because you could be just there, doing the rotation of wheel without necessarily making any progress or moving forward. And so I say education is very key, even in business, and not necessarily the papers, but getting to learn something new. And you can learn even from listening. Like that's why I want to encourage people to be tuning in to our program, Business and Investment Hub, whereby you will be learning. There's something that you are going to learn that is going to be of help to you. There's something that you will be learning from our invited guests. In the process, you get to learn something new. And so, ignorance at no cost, never go for such. Keep learning every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember for us to be able to do, and also I think, before I go with my thought, interacting, knowledge does not have to be passed on. You can't open the books. It can be passed through what we are doing. It can be passed through association.
Yeah.
Like you are discussing with people who, when you are una consider they've made it, you can book time, a cup of tea, and you learn these things. You learn these things. And I like that you brought in about what you're expecting to get out of this program, because we also want to focus ourselves on the godly values and their place in business, because we live in a very, I don't know how to put it, allow me to borrow this word, probably a toxicated environment where corruption is like glorified. But you have to do business anyway. How do we keep ourselves with biblical values and Christian values in running our businesses?
That reminds me of a verse in the Bible that says, godliness and contentment is great gain. And that is something that has really been of great help in my life and also in my business, whereby you realize most of the businesses at some point, if you get into business with the aspect of greed, you want to have more. And there is a very thin line between love for money. Love for money, because we get into business so that we may get to make money. But greed causes you to start to become a lover for money. And in the process, when you become a lover for money, you can do anything to make that money. And I want to believe that my viewers can agree with us that people have committed great sin. People have murdered others to make money. People have sacrificed their families, their marriages because of money. People have gotten into corruption because of money. So I would say through this program, Business and Investment Hub, we shall be learning also on how to put in the godly values, so that even God, when He watches from heaven, He is happy. I always look forward every end of the day where I can sit with God and say, my son, I'm happy because of how you helped that person. I'm happy because of the way you empowered those people. I'm happy because of the way you're doing. Because all the blessings comes from God.
Exactly.
Blessings come from God, and it's God who causes us to rise from one level to another. Rising from one level to another. And so when God is happy, He'll continue even to bless you and give you favor. Favor comes from God, whereby you don't have to struggle so much, but just unapata kukubalika. And so we shall be learning about godliness and contentment is whereby you say, I'm happy because of what I have, and I'm trusting you, God, even for more. But when you don't have godliness and contentment, every time I see you, my brother Jama, and I will say, I think I love that coat, and so I can do anything to ensure that I get that coat or that shirt. It is a nice one, but you are very stylish. I love, I love it. I love it. So, but when you don't have contentment, you say, hata Mr. Strategize vile hiyo kitu hiyo shati najua itafuliwa kesho, vile itaiadua vile itachomoka nayo, and those are things that has caused people to fall into sin. Because even as we do everything that we are doing, let us remember that there is a God in heaven who is the giver of every blessing. And the question at the end of the day is God happy? Is He happy about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it?
And I like there is a verse I love so much, and I consider it a principle of whatever we are doing. Anything that I find myself doing, I would love to implement this. Where the Bible says, I think in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33 or 34, seek first the kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you. Because sometimes we feel like becoming godly is stupidity in business. Now, ukiona deal ikikupita unasikia vibaya sana. But let me tell you, what I've come to learn, even as a business person who is also a Christian, is that He will not allow you to go hungry. Even if you not get the best deal in town, but you'll always find something that will remain you afloat. Even despite the challenges that we've had of COVID and all these things, we'll still prosper and flourish. And God will continue to give us new ideas and new concepts of how, new strategies. So we, viewers, want to encourage you that you be joining us, because these are some of the values that you are likely to get. Not likely, you will be getting as we discuss various aspects and concepts about business. As we end this, probably, probably somebody is asking themselves, oh, where do I start? Mimi nimejaribu hizo vitu mnasema hapo na sija make it. Somebody may think like we are talking from the blues lab that we want a Godfather or Father God. Godfather and Father God. So how would you encourage that person? Probably they feel they had this dream, this vision to start this business, but bado haijaingiana. That one happens more often than not, but when it doesn't work, thank God. In everything, give thanks to God. That's what I say. Resilience is very important. If indeed you are passionate about something, you will always say, if this one does not work, you say, I've just discovered one of the ways that this one should not be done, and so you try in another way. With time, we'll be sharing our testimonies and how we have been in business and how we have made money and also lost money. We have made money and lost money. And so we shall be sharing more on that. But mine, I would encourage the viewers, if you are in business and you're feeling like it is not working out, of course, prayer is very key. Prayer is very key so that God may guide you and direct you. But again, even getting to a point of saying this one is not working, it takes courage to say this one is not working, and so I want to stop it so that I can do this other one. because I think, sorry to cut you short.
Yeah.
You may count the investment you've
Yeah.
put on that one that is not okay. Unaona hapana, hii kitu acha tu nisukume.
I would rather continue making loss than feel like I am closing this one.
So where do you decide that enough is enough?
Just about thinking and observing and doing your mathematics, doing your maths well, and you realize if you realize that your business is making loss, and I know many people, even some who are watching us, they know that their business are making loss, but they just want to continue doing it so that people will not say hata alifunga biashara, hata alishindwa. It is okay, by the way, it is okay to close. It is okay to close rather than continue making loss, because at the end of the day we are not doing business to please people. It is you, when you make loss, it is you who have made loss. Yeah, I'll share in our next program how I was able to close an investment that I had done for quite a chunk of money, and closing it down, it was painful. But you say, rather than continuing to make loss, you close it down. And so at this point, our viewers, we want to say thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that you tuned in. Always look forward to our show, our business and investment hub, where we shall be learning. We shall be bringing on board many investors, entrepreneurs, people who have been in the business, people whom we can learn from. And always remember, we are doing this, doing it and getting to learn how to do business in godly ways, so that we may, at the end of the day, God is happy. Yeah, and it becomes a blessing to people. So thank you so much. God bless you. Always look forward to your favorite Justconnect TV business and investment hub. We shall be airing on every Wednesday, the time shown on your screen. So thank you so much. God bless you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
This has been Jama Ngugi. May you have a fabulous time. Bye.
Bye.
Get yourself a high-quality branded hoodie, t-shirt, caps, umbrellas, you name it, we got it. You order, we deliver. Justconnect. Justconnect TV is your entertainment and educational channel. We broadcast authentic content that will inspire, empower, and stir up the potential and positive energy in you. Justconnect TV, streaming life.
Welcome to Marriage Bliss. This is your home for marriage enrichment.
Sure. At Marriage Bliss, here we unveil the true picture of how God intended marriages to be. Are you finding joy in your marriage?
Or are you at the verge of quitting?
We, the Muigais, are partnering with God to restore bliss in marriages. Tune in to your favorite Justconnect TV on Facebook and YouTube. We shall enrich our marriages together. Karibu.